Thank you for your time coming.
25 pieces.
Thank you for the entire Mumbai media to be here as well. So there are a couple of announcements we're going to make today. We're going to talk about the state of AI report, which is being a global research report releasing in India. And we've got some India research findings out of that. We've also got Dr. Satya from Air India as well to talk about the Air India digital transformation story as well. And we've also got our leaders today. We've got Padma Shri Arundhati Bhattacharya, President and CEO of South Asia, and Arun Kumar Parmeshwaran, Executive Vice President, Managing Director Sales for South Asia. Thank you so much for being with us. As part of the agenda, we'll start with the inaugural remark of Arundhati Ma'am and followed by Arun. And we have Dr. Satya.
After putting the paper to bed. Thank you all for coming here. I have a very simple task, and that is to just tell you a little bit about, about Salesforce. I know that all of you know about it already, but still, again, as I said, thank you all very much for coming here. You do us proud. We believe in these values, these 5 values, and they are not something that's written on a wall or on a piece of paper. Every piece of product or process that we actually put on the shelf goes through all of this. So, we feel in today's world specifically, trust is very, very important because we are dealing with data, and the data is yours and will remain yours, no matter, whether you use a platform. It is definitely your product and remains yours. Customer success is something we lay a lot of store by, and we bring about customer success by ensuring that we are innovating all the time, so that you're at the top of the market, you are ahead of the market, not behind it, and definitely, it's something that's very, very core to us. The values of equality and sustainability, it's always been our effort to ensure that we leave a world that is more equitable and more sustainable than the world that we inherited. So again, this is something that we live in our everyday lives. Having said that, if you look at the growth of Salesforce in India, we opened with a very small office, by the way, in Mumbai. Though our registered office is in Bangalore, the first office we opened was in Mumbai. Of course, we have now grown exponentially. We are in 6 centers. Mumbai and Gurgaon are the major sales offices. Bangalore is sales as well as innovation office. Hyderabad, again, a lot of engineers positioned there. And we have 2 other installations, one in Pune and one in Jaipur. Both of these are mainly for the delivery of services, smaller offices, but yes, we are there. We started when I came in with 2,500 people. Earlier, of course, it was even less. That's in 2025 years back. We are now 13,000 plus people. And the latest Salesforce Tower, which we consider to be one of the signature installations that we have, the 10th one, in fact, worldwide, is going to open in Bangalore shortly. We are hoping, we already are working on it, so we are hoping that by the end of next year, it should be in operation. Now, if you look at, I've already talked about all the places that we are in. If you look at the kind of logos that we have, each of the logos over here, including, of course, Air India, these are not only local, bellwether logos, these are also known internationally. And a lot of these people are now our customers, and we are very proud to be able to partner with them in their digital journey. If you look at our Trailblazer ecosystem, you're aware that anybody who uses Salesforce innovates on it, whether it's a partner, whether it's a customer, or whether it's just a practitioner, we call them all Trailblazers. Out of the 19 million Trailblazers we have worldwide, more than 2 million of them are resident in India alone. Trailhead, which is our learning platform, has the highest usage in India outside of the US. So the contribution that we make to the Salesforce ecosystem and to the Salesforce innovation and engineering is huge. And today, in fact, Mark Benioff gave an interview which has appeared in the Economic Times, and he acknowledges that a lot of our solutions currently are getting built out of India. So there is a lot that we do for the company. Now, while we follow those values that I talked about, those values also teach us that business can actually be a platform for change. when we innovated on the platform 25 years back, Mark was the first person who thought about this as a business model. That is to create everything on the cloud, which is we are a cloud native solution, plus also to ensure that it's a subscription model, so that the entry barrier to higher levels of IT goes down. You don't need to spend so much on infrastructure. You do it as subscription service, and therefore your ability to really innovate and be on the cutting edge of technology becomes much better. But along with that, he also innovated this model of philanthropy, which we call a 1 by 1 by 1 model, where we donate 1% of our time. Each of us gets a week paid leave off in order to volunteer. We give 1% of our products to the non-profit community for free usage, and we also give 1% and in India 2% of our profits directly as grants. This has resulted in over $5 million of grants in the period that we have been in India, and that is now, by the way, going up a lot because our profits have gone up. So this is going up quite a bit. We have used, in fact, a lot of all-time giving is there, and then for volunteer hours, there are 9.6 million volunteer hours. This is, of course, the worldwide number. In India, it's 622,000 volunteer hours. And 1% of our products, like 400 plus NGOs in India, now use Salesforce products for free. Now, what is the state of work today? The state of work today, if you go into any organization, you will find that the workforce is very stressed out. They are not absolutely engaged or involved in the work. Our research shows that 147% of those companies where the workforce is very deeply involved are actually far more successful than their peers. Not only that, if you look at the kind of work we do on a daily basis, 41% of that work is low value, drudge work that is repetitive and can be done by the autonomous agents that we are now talking about. What it prevents, therefore, is it actually expands your capacity. Today, the workforce is plagued by things like low-value tasks. There's a fixed capacity, and therefore productivity doesn't go up, and there is burnout. In fact, I was just talking to BCG people the other day, and they were saying that there are industries in India where for the last 3 years, productivity has been consistently going down. Now, these are industries that really need to find out how productivity can be raised. And on the other hand, the customer demands have gone up. Customers don't want any hold time. They want to be really talking to somebody empathetic. They want experts to solve their problems immediately. And they want absolutely instant scheduling. They want to solve the problem now. If I'm talking about an AC that's not working, I want a schedule which will tell me tomorrow at 10:30 somebody will come and look at it. They don't want to wait. So those are, the customer requirements have gone down, the productivity of employees are becoming less, they are getting burnt out, they are getting stressed out. And therefore, what we really wanted to do is create an agent force which is trusted, so you can trust your data to it. It's easy to deploy because it's a unified platform. It keeps humans in the loop. It's not as though it will do anything and everything on its own. It can be quite well, sort of ring-fenced with guardrails, and it can keep you in the loop. You can therefore create so much more capacity that the hold time that is there today can go down to 0. And the best thing is, it is integrated and open. So if you already have invested in a lot of technology, you can still use that technology in order to ensure that you are getting agent force. You can build agent force on top of whatever you have. There is no need to rip and replace everything, which makes it easy, simple, and possible to do. Now, if you look at our customer success, through the years, these are the parameters that we have been showing, where in respect of our service costs, 20% reduction has happened in the service cost. In the IT costs, we have shown a 22% reduction. There's a 30% increase in revenues. There's a 32% increase in faster development of the digitization and any other activities that you can do, not only in the digitization process, but also in your business. The marketing ROI has gone up by as much as 32%. The time to insights has increased by 33%, and the collaboration that you can create with your ecosystem has actually increased by as much as 36%. Now these parameters, by the way, are averages that we have taken across industries. It could be lower in some, it could be much higher in some, but these are the averages of many of the people that we have used. And some of the actual use cases we have given over here, for instance, Jaipur, they say that their lead conversions have increased by as much as 30%. Similarly, if you look at Royal Enfield, which says that they don't produce motorbikes, they produce experiences, right? They position it not as a product, but as an experience. They say that their customer engagement rates have actually gone up by 100%. That's the kind of stuff that we actually do. Now, having said that, this is basically just an introduction to Salesforce, and with that, I'll hand it over to Arun to take you through the survey report.
Yeah, I know you're here to listen to Dr. Satya and ask questions, so I'm going to breeze through this. Sorry, Ashim, I'm not going to go into the details on the slides. Look, we're an agent-first company, right? We believe that we have to be customer zero. One of the things that we talked in the keynote, if you were not there, is today we use Agentforce inside all functions of the company. The most interesting one, go to help.salesforce.com. You'll see on the front page of that site, you'll see how we're using Agentforce. We started by deflecting all the calls that were coming into our call center from customers asking for help. Anything as simple as, hey, how do I turn on a certain feature? We started with 44% first call resolutions. We're sitting at 85% first call resolution, right? It's historic. No other vendor has done it. Who claims they're an AI vendor? You should go. All of you should go and check out help.salesforce.com. This is basically us believing in our technology. It's not just in support. You'll see it in marketing. You'll see it in sales. Every function of the companies today turning to Agentforce. We believe we have to be that Agentforce first company. Now, what is the state of ID report? Nothing that you're going to see here should surprise you, right? So let me just say that. Anybody surprised seeing that 100% of IT teams expect to use data and AI? No. I mean, my daughter today is doing, freshman year at Purdue, and she was telling me that the amount of code that people actually write off is that it's shocking. Yeah. It's cut and paste. It's not, in some cases, not even cut and paste. It's just basically go to AI and say, write code for this, and then So students today are not going through the grind that we had to go through when we did computer science. But the reality is that all IT development shops are completely hooked onto this, because who wants to write code for the sake of writing code? You want to spend your time in more value-added stuff, right? And so if you look at it, 92% believe AI agents will be essential in traditional tools, right? If you look at it from a developer perspective and think about where this is hitting hard, today, and I don't know how many of you are tracking this, computer science is not sexy anymore. Nobody wants to learn Java. Nobody wants to learn how to write code. The most sought out of courses in almost every part of the world is actually going to be data, AI, and ML. And so people are, even from a developer perspective, this is going to become the most essential skill, if you will, right? And so if you think about it, even if you look at Salesforce, right, we are a very large software development shop. Today, our use of AI would probably be at the top of the charts, right? Because we've built this tool, we've got the capability to use it. We are using these tools very, very extensively to cut down time to market and be able to bring product much faster and with a greater deal of accuracy, right? Which is the other big advantage of what this brings to the table. But at the end of the day, is the agent going to do everything for you? No, right? Humans are still going to be in the loop, like Arundhati said. It's a critical part, right? And so humans are going to be in the loop. They are going to be able to look at the code, refine the code. So the beauty is now, instead of spending 5 hours writing code, the code is generated in 5 seconds. You can spend the next 4 hours thinking about how you can, meaningfully add value or do things in a different way that differentiate for the business, right? And so that's the benefit, I would say. And so therefore that then opens up a lot of time for you to do the things that matter, right? Which is looking at your architecture, looking at how can I make this work to scale, things that earlier you didn't have the time to do, right? And all of this is coming down to what I said. It's all about giving people time back to do things that are more interesting, more value add than doing the repetitive tasks, right? Go back to the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It's the same theme, right? AI is just accelerating a lot of these things at a pace that we've never seen before. Low code, no code, we started this 25 years back as a company. I don't know how many of you have been following Salesforce, but Marvin believed that software was becoming out of reach for the common man, as in small, medium business. We started our company serving small and medium businesses. We said they don't have the capacity and the financial wherewithal to build deep pockets for infrastructure and software. And so one of our first logos was no software, right? And so we believed that this has to be simple. So we started off our journey 25 years back with the concept of low code, no code. And we've stayed true to it, but today if you look at it, pretty much every organization from a software development perspective believes that this is some of the foundations on which you have to build. And so, that's the state of the art. Like I said, there's nothing in that report that should stick out to you and say, oh my God, I couldn't have guessed this, right? I think all of you have seen this evolution. It validates to us in a lot of ways what we've been hearing from customers. So hopefully it's a lot of data points, but I'd love to actually give more time to Dr. Satya. He's been a great partner with us. Can I say one story before I hand over to you?
Yeah, sure.
And I think it's a joint story. So November 12th was D-Day for Air India and Vistara to come together, right? And it so happened that my wife in the morning at 8 a.m., which is very unusual, right? She's never up at that time, sends me a message saying, please change my flight from 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. And then next line is FIA. So when your bosses in personal life or professional life say for your action, that means do it now, right? I hope you didn't mean that. And so I picked up the phone and I called the Vistara number because the booking was on Vistara originally. I didn't remember that was a D-Day when the systems were switching. And at the heart of the whole thing was us working with Dr. Satya's team, because we'd basically bought all of the data of Vistara and Air India together on Data Cloud. Service Cloud was being merged between both of the organizations. And I was amazed that after the call, when I finished it and the entire process was done, I was speaking to somebody, I think it was Pablo or one of the guys, and they sent out a message saying the whole transition is done, seamless, not a single customer complaint. But I want to give full credit to Dr. Satya, because I lived in the US and I've seen airline budgets. They are not fun and they are ugly when it comes to customer service. But what they achieved was truly phenomenal. And so with that, I want to hand over to Dr. Satya and talk about his transformation.
Thank you, Arun, and thank you, Arundhati ma'am, for this great opportunity. Good morning all. I'm Satya Ramaswamy. I'm the Chief Digital and Technology Officer in Air India. So the last 3 years, I have been leading the digital transformation of Air India, from where it was to where it is now today. And as Arun mentioned, I also led the technology merger and integration of Air India and Vistara. So it has been a very hectic 3 years for us, and quite an honor to have this role, to play a very important role in reimagining Air India, which I also believe is a story of rejuvenation of India itself. It has been a very massive transformation journey. So we took all the, practically there was nothing much to begin with. So we had to lay the entire digital foundation. We did the entire mobile app, which is one of the most popular mobile apps for an airline in the App Store, with a rating of 4.8, which is very hard to get. We completely redid the website, and we got the Experience Maker of the Year award from one of our major partners this year. The chatbot that we got, which is GenAI based, is the global airline industry's very first GenAI chatbot, and it has answered close to 9 million queries so far, with a containment ratio of about 97%. When we talk to our global airline peers, they say that their chatbots have a containment ratio, which is the number of queries that the chatbot is able to answer by itself versus something that it escalates, is about 70%, right? So we are at 97%, which is something that they all look forward to getting help from us. And then we are completely reimagining the in-flight entertainment system, which will be launched in the next few months across all our new aircraft. And so this whole transformation is going on, and the entire back-end systems have been rebuilt completely from the ground up. So we have put in place about 140 different systems, and a very important part of that system is our Salesforce system, which is the central point of our entire customer support operation, and it has been an invaluable help for us in elevating our customer experience and the new innovations that are coming, like the agent force that we adopted very early on. So the entire transformation of the other 140 systems and then the merger with Vistara has all happened very smoothly. And as Arun mentioned, I think it is a matter of pride that we pulled off the merger between Air India and Vistara without any disruption. No flights were disrupted. We transferred about 250,000, just 2.5 lakh customer reservations from Vistara to Air India. And almost about 95% of those customers have already flown with Air India. So, not even one single complaint. The whole loyalty system of Vistara was merged very seamlessly with Air India. And a lot of enormous amount of hard work went in to make it happen. A lot of sleepless nights, but also great partners like Salesforce, right? So, Arundhati ma'am and Arun and the entire rest of the team were very passionately contributing it, and I think we could not have done it without the support of stalwarts like that. And because they personally fully believed, they were very much part of the transformation. They believed it was a national mission. So I think their contribution was invaluable in getting us here. And then talking briefly about Agent Force, we are very excited about Agent Force. The reason is, we are doing today, we are the third year, towards the end of the third year of our 5-year transformation journey. We call it as Beyond.EA. We have come a long way, and when the things are going fine, we are doing really, really well. Customers are super happy. Our NPS scores are at an all-time high, and we carry about 100 million bags every year, and we are now at a 99.6% reliability rate, right, which is 99.6% of the bags arriving along with the owner exactly as expected. And the global benchmark of some of the top airlines is about 99%, right? So, but we want to get the remaining gap closed, right? So, being from India, we want to set a very high service standards. And when a customer reaches out to us and we create the case in Salesforce and start servicing the customer, we want to make it a perfect experience. Our vision is that when a customer reaches out to us, either through the contact center or through email or through chatbot, whichever means, we want to take ownership of the customer's problem, right? So essentially we want to have an agent representing the customer within our system, autonomously going and solving the problem, and then getting back with an outbound call, potentially with a human agent to the customer back, saying that your problem is solved very quickly, right? And that is what we're seeing happening with Agent Force today. So first we have implemented a very important use case of a certain class of a refund issue. So when we owe money back to the customer, today the process is a bit manual. So there are multiple handoffs between the customer, the customer support team, the finance team, because you are paying money back to someone, and a lot of steps have to go through to make sure that it is per policy and it is paid out in the right amount and so on. But now with the Agent Force, we are able to drastically crunch the time that it is taking from several days to a few hours, and imagine the impact it will have on the customer, right? When we owe something to the customer expects us to pay them back as soon as possible, and when we crunch the timelines from such a large amount of time to such a short, it makes a huge difference to the customer. It makes a big difference to our brand, and so we are very excited by the early results that we're seeing with the Agent Force, and we want to continue developing a lot more use cases so that we can get to that level of perfection that we want to reach from a customer service, customer experience perspective. And again, we really want to thank Salesforce for being a stalwart partner, a very involved and passionate partner in the transformation of Air India. And again, we thank Arun and the entire team for helping us in this journey.
Okay, I guess questions?
Yes.